Hey there, wonderful viewers. Today we're diving into something that touches all of our hearts, regrets. You know, those quiet thoughts that sometimes visit us late at night. I wish I had. But here's the beautiful thing about wisdom that comes with our years. We can share these insights with others who still have time to make different choices. And even better, it's never too late to begin many of these practices ourselves. Today, I'm going to share the 6 most common regrets I've heard from seniors during my years working in this field. And more importantly, how you can take action today to ensure these don't become your regrets too. Before we begin, I'd love to know, what's one thing you wish you'd started earlier in life? Drop it in the comments below, and let's learn from each other's experiences. Now let me introduce you to Margaret. At 82, she's vibrant, engaged with life, and one of the wisest people I know. But when we sat down for coffee last month, she shared something profound. The things I regret aren't the mistakes I made, she told me. They're the chances I never took, the habits I never formed, and the priorities I got backwards. Margaret's insights, along with conversations I've had with hundreds of seniors over the years, form the backbone of today's discussion. So let's dive into the first major regret many seniors express. I wish I had taken better care of my body when it was easier to do so. This is perhaps the most common regret I hear. So many seniors tell me they took their health for granted in their younger years. They ignored those early warning signs, skipped regular checkups, or thought they could outrun poor habits forever. Take Richard, for example. At 70, he's now diligently managing his diabetes, but he told me, if I had just paid attention to my doctor's warnings in my 50s about my weight and blood sugar, I might have avoided this daily insulin routine altogether. The truth is, our bodies keep score. Every decade of neglect compounds, while every healthy choice pays dividends later. But here's the empowering news. It's never too late to make positive health changes. Research consistently shows that even small improvements in physical activity, nutrition, and preventive care can dramatically improve quality of life at any age. So how can you start today? Let me share 3 simple but powerful steps. First, schedule that checkup or screening you've been putting off. Whether it's a routine, physical dental cleaning, hearing test, or specialized screening like a colonoscopy or mammogram, make the call today. Prevention and early detection remain your best allies. Second, add just 10 minutes of deliberate movement to your day. It doesn't need to be intense. Gentle walking, chair yoga, or simple stretching all count. Studies show even this small amount of activity can improve circulation, mood, and cognitive function. Third, make one nutritional upgrade this week. Maybe it's adding an extra serving of vegetables daily, reducing processed foods, or increasing your water intake. Small, sustainable. Changes beat dramatic diets every time. Remember, we're not aiming for perfection, we're looking for progress. Your body will thank you, even if you're starting today. Now, before we move to our second regret, I'd love to know, what's one health habit you wish you'd started earlier? Or if you're proud of a recent health change you've made, share that. Inspiration in the comments. Stay tuned for regret number 2, which might surprise you. I wish I hadn't let important relationships fade away. When researchers interview people in their final days about their regrets, this theme consistently emerges at the top. Not spending enough time with loved ones, letting friendships drift apart, holding on to grudges instead of offering forgiveness. Clara, a 78-year-old viewer who wrote to me last month, expressed it beautifully. I spent decades chasing career success and material comfort, only to realize in retirement that my richest possession was always my connections to others. Some of those connections I neglected for too long. The science backs this up too. Strong social connections are linked to longer lifespans, lower rates of depression, and even reduced risk of cognitive decline. In fact, some researchers suggest that isolation is as harmful to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So how can you invest in your relationship portfolio starting today? First, make a connection list. Write down 5 to 10 people you care about but haven't connected with recently. Commit to reaching out to one person each week. A phone call, a handwritten note, or even a thoughtful text message can reopen doors. Second, practice the art of deep listening. The next time you're with someone you care about, challenge yourself to listen more than you speak. Ask follow-up questions. Put away distractions. This simple shift can transform casual interactions into meaningful connections. Third, consider joining a group based on shared interests. Whether it's a book club, a walking group, a volunteer organization, or a class at your local community center, shared activities create natural bonds and regular social interaction. And what about those strained relationships or old grudges? Consider whether it's time for healing. Not all relationships can or should be repaired, but many times a simple "I've been thinking about you" or "I miss having you in my life" can be the first step toward reconciliation. I'd love to know, is there someone you've been meaning to reconnect with? Or have you recently rekindled an old friendship? Share your experience in the comments. Now let's move on to regret number 3, which affects so many of us. I wish I had been more intentional with my money earlier. This regret isn't just about wishing for more wealth. It's about the freedom and choices that come with financial stability. So many seniors I've spoken with express regret, not about extravagant purchases, but about the basics they overlooked. Consistent saving, understanding investments, or planning for healthcare costs. Meet Howard, a former school principal who now volunteers teaching financial literacy. At 75, he's comfortable but not wealthy. "I made a good salary," he told me, "but I didn't understand compound interest until my 50s. Those missed decades of growth can't be recovered. The good news? Financial wisdom can be implemented at any age, and it's never too late to improve." Your situation. Here are 3 actions you can take today. First, conduct a financial health check. This means taking inventory of what you have, what you owe, and what you're spending. Many people avoid this step because they fear what they'll discover, but clarity is the foundation of improvement. You don't need fancy software. A simple notebook will do. Second, identify one area where you can reduce expenses, even slightly. Perhaps it's reviewing subscriptions you rarely use, comparing insurance rates, or finding senior discounts you haven't utilized. These small adjustments add up significantly over time. Third, if you haven't already, consult with a financial advisor who specializes in seniors' needs. Many offer free initial consultations, and some community centers provide free financial counseling for seniors. They can help you maximize Social Security benefits, understand Medicare options, and ensure your money lasts as long as you need it. Remember, financial management isn't just about accumulating wealth, it's about creating security and peace of mind. Even small improvements can significantly reduce stress and expand your choices. I'd love to hear from you. What's one financial habit you wish you'd developed earlier? Or share a financial tip that's worked well for you in the comments below. Now, let's move to regret number 4, which touches on something deeply meaningful. I wish I hadn't postponed my dreams and interests for someday. This regret surfaces repeatedly in conversations with seniors. The novel never written, the instrument never learned, the art class never taken, the travel destinations never visited. So often, creative pursuits and personal passions get relegated to after retirement or when I have more time, only to be hindered later by health limitations or financial constraints. Take Eleanor, a 79-year-old viewer who wrote to me last year. She always wanted to learn photography but kept putting it off. "I thought artistic pursuits were indulgences," she explained. "Now I realize they're essential to a fulfilling life." When Eleanor finally picked up a camera at 75, she discovered not just a hobby, but a new way of seeing the world. Her story reminds us that creative expression isn't a luxury, it's a vital part of human experience at any age. Research supports this too. Creative activities have been shown to reduce stress, improve cognitive function, and even strengthen immune response. They give us purpose and perspective, especially during life transitions. So how can you reconnect with postponed passions today? First, make a joy inventory. What activities made you lose track of time when you were younger? What have you always been curious about but never explored? Write these down without judgment or practical considerations. Second, start small, but start now. If you've always wanted to paint, you don't need to enroll in a formal class immediately. Begin with a simple sketchbook and pencil. If you've dreamed of playing piano, apps and online tutorials can get you started before investing in lessons. Third, find a community that shares your interest. Whether online or in person, connecting with others who enjoy the same activities provides motivation, resources, and social connection. Many senior centers, community colleges, and libraries offer groups specifically for older adults exploring creative pursuits. Remember, the goal isn't mastery, it's engagement and enjoyment. The best time to start was decades ago, but the second best time is today. I'm curious, what's a passion or interest you've been postponing? Or if you've recently started pursuing a long-held dream, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Now, let's explore regret number 5, which might be the most profound of all. I wish I had spoken my truth more often. This regret runs deep. For many seniors I've talked with, the words left unsaid, the feelings kept hidden, the boundaries never established. Whether it was fear of conflict, cultural expectations of stoicism, or simply the habit of putting others' needs first, many older adults wish they had given voice to their authentic selves earlier. Dorothy, a soft-spoken 84-year-old I interviewed for our channel last year, shared something that stayed with me. I spent 7 decades being the peacekeeper, she said. I never told my husband how his drinking hurt me. I never told my children what I really wanted for my own life. I thought I was being kind, but I was actually being absent. Dorothy's story isn't unusual. Many in her generation were raised to prioritize harmony over honesty, to swallow difficult emotions rather than express them. But research shows that emotional suppression is linked to poorer physical health, increased anxiety, and diminished relationship satisfaction. So how can you begin expressing yourself more authentically today? First, start with a personal truth. Journal. Write down thoughts and feelings you typically keep to yourself. This private practice helps clarify what matters to you and builds the muscle of self-expression without immediate social risk. Second, practice using I statements in everyday conversations. Instead of, "The kitchen is a mess," try, "I feel overwhelmed when the kitchen is cluttered." This simple shift acknowledges your feelings without blaming others and makes communication less confrontational. Third, identify one boundary you need to establish and find gentle words to express it. Perhaps it's telling adult children you need advance notice before visits or letting friends know certain topics are off limits. Remember, boundaries aren't walls, they're guidelines that protect your well-being. The beauty of this work is that it's never too late to begin. In fact, many seniors find that their age gives them both the wisdom and the freedom to finally speak their truth. As one 90-year-old viewer told me, "At my age, I don't have time for anything but honesty." I'd love to hear from you. Have you become more or less expressive with age? Is there something you've recently found the courage to say that you previously kept inside? Share your experiences in the comments. Now, let's explore our final regret, one that touches on our deepest human needs. I wish I had spent more time on what truly matters. This final regret isn't necessarily about religion, though. For many, it includes faith practices. It's about the deeper questions of existence, finding purpose, contemplating our place in the universe, and connecting with something larger than ourselves. James, a 77-year-old former business executive, shared his perspective with me. I spent decades focused on quarterly results and performance metrics. I never stopped to ask why I was here, what legacy I wanted to leave, or what gave my life meaning beyond achievement? When James faced a serious health crisis at 70, these questions suddenly became urgent. I realized I had built a successful career, but hadn't nurtured my soul, he told me. That imbalance left me feeling hollow when I needed inner strength the most. Research consistently shows that spiritual well-being, however you define it, correlates with greater resilience, reduced depression, and even better physical health outcomes. It provides a framework for understanding suffering and finding purpose even in difficult circumstances. So how can you deepen your spiritual life starting today? First, create space for reflection. This might be through formal meditation, prayer, time in nature, or simply sitting quietly for 10 minutes each day. The specific practice matters less than the regular pause to connect with something beyond daily tasks. Second, explore questions of meaning and purpose. Consider writing about what gives your life significance, what values you want to embody, and what legacy you hope to leave. These reflections aren't morbid, they're clarifying and often lead to more intentional living. Third, consider connecting with a spiritual community if you don't already have one. This might be a traditional religious congregation, a meditation group, a philosophical discussion circle, or even an online community of seekers. Shared exploration often deepens individual growth. Remember, spiritual development isn't about having all the answers. It's about living the questions with curiosity and openness. And it's never too late to begin this journey. I'm curious, how has your understanding of meaning and purpose evolved as you've aged? Has spirituality become more or less important to you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Before we wrap up today, let's quickly review the 6 common regrets we've discussed. Not prioritizing health earlier, not investing in relationships, not managing finances strategically, not pursuing passions and creativity, not expressing feelings and thoughts, not embracing spirituality and meaning. Which of these resonated most deeply with you? I'd truly love to know. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And now, I'd like to offer you a simple but powerful challenge. Choose one small action from today's discussion and commit to doing it this week. Just one step. It might be scheduling that medical checkup, calling an old friend, reviewing your budget, dusting off a forgotten hobby, expressing a long-held feeling, or creating time for spiritual reflection. Whatever you choose, come back and let us know how it went. Your experience might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear to take their own first step. Sharing your journey can inspire others and create a sense of community around taking positive actions. Remember, every small step counts, and together, we can support each other in making meaningful changes. If you found value in today's video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to our channel. We post new content every week designed to help you live your most vibrant, fulfilling life in these golden years. And remember, while we can't change the past, we have tremendous power to shape our present and future. Every day offers a fresh opportunity to live without accumulating new regrets. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Until next week, wishing you health, joy, and a life of no regrets.